A new week has started, not with storms and rains and wind, but with extreme heat, and that means that I have 3 days of me days inside, not working, taking care of moi. I'm going to tell you some of the things I'm going to be doing this week. Well, I've already started. As you know, I was doing the Nail Tek on my nails because they had gotten brittle and peeling. And I haven't had polish on for probably several weeks now. And it's working, ladies, believe me. Today's the first day that I've put some polish on, and you can see that they're getting long again. Now, this morning when I went outside to give Moosey his breakfast, yes, he went out early. Didn't stay too long because of the heat, but had to check on the birds. He said, "Ooh, I notice you need to do your whiskers today." Well, as you know, the only way you can see them is out in the sun. And I just did some plucking maybe a week ago. But as you know, those little suckers come in before you can even say 1, 2, 3. And I have to tell you, he wasn't being a freshie. I did designate Moosey to be my Whisker Cop. Because who's going to tell you other than your best friend or your spouse or your son, Matthew? Matthew will always catch them. In fact, he goes after them and pulls them out and doesn't let me know he's going for it. So I did some whisker plucking as well. Another maybe taboo subject, but we all have them. And you start getting them in your 40s and 50s, everybody. So that's all taken care of. I'm also going to give myself some foot baths and take care of my feet. And what else? Oh, I might scrunch my hair this week. That's always a fun thing to do. So as part of my mini me day today, I have been experimenting with another little hairdo. I did do the scarf thing this morning where I started with the scarf, I believe, in the front. And it's one of these scarves that's about this wide, and it's that nice kind of a sheer type of a fabric. It's a good fabric to be able to do this with. And it was long enough to be able to go around the back, crisscross it. Sometimes I just do the first part of a knot, not a big knot, and then bring it up. And then I had just enough left to do a little bow, not enough to make the knots. In that case, you don't do the double wrap. But I did experiment with a comb in the back to turn it up a little bit and make it different. And I'm going to show you. I used, where is it now? Here it is. I used the comb that I have, only mine is a white one. They do make these in the dark color too. I used the comb that has the teeth on the bottom, and it has one of these rats, or what they call, not hair poof bumps. They call these hair bumps. And this is some sort of a type stuff. The stuff they make the big rings out of and the small rings. And what I have done, sometimes I could have used this in the back. I'm going to show you in a minute what I did, where I cut these in half and you get part of this. Now, this does unravel too, by the way. It's good. These things are cheap, and you get them on Amazon, all of these things. And I could have used this there too, and then wrapped the hair up around this. There's so many things you can do with these hair poofs or hair bumps, as they call them. We used to call them hair rats, as a lot of you ladies would know. So in the back, what I used was one of these. And I just stuck it in the back this before I put the head wrap on. And I took my hair and I made a little poof on the top just to get some fullness. And then you kind of spread it out a little bit to pull it up. You don't have to do that. But then I took this and I put it into my hair like this at a certain point. And then all I did was take the rest of the hair and turn it up, over, and in, and it made a nice little sort of a horizontal chignon or French roll. sort of. And it's just another hairdo using so many of these things. And I don't need a swivel chair because I don't turn around that much. Actually, this is good exercise. Here's the bump. Just bring the hair down, all of it, and you can do it in sections, 2 sections on the side, 1 here. Now, sometimes you can do the thing, I see a bobby pin up, and then you might just stick a bobby pin down to anchor the hair. It's pushed down in here. I like to twist the ends of the ponytail and then just stick it all down and put a bobby pin or 2 to hold it. So it's just another hairdo in conjunction with the wraps. Just fooling around this morning with it. Let me see, what else am I going to do in my me day? I'm sitting here looking at a big bowl of tomatoes, and it has made me hungry for one of my tomato sandwiches from the garden, from my tomatoes from the garden. Will you look at this? I don't have too many left out there. I think the combination of the heat and then the rain or whatever, my new tomatoes that I planted a month or so ago didn't do as well as the first batch, so I'm not getting them. But look at this. I have enough fresh tomatoes to make several things with. But with the tomatoes that I like the best are probably my tomato and mayonnaise and lettuce sandwiches. That's all I like on them. Lucy sometimes likes the BLT thing, but the best part of these tomato sandwiches is that homegrown tomato taste. There's nothing like it, is there? I think I told you I'd had some problems with somebody taking big bites out of the tomatoes on the vines. I don't know who it was. I don't think it was my Shamu, but some varmints. But I think they're gone now. But I didn't want to take chances and let them ripen on the vines and then go and pick them with a big bite out. So I started picking them early. I am going to do something special with the big ones. I am going to make what is called a southern tomato pie. Now, how many of you have ever made one? All you ladies that live down south, I bet you're very familiar with this, aren't you? I have a recipe for it. And by the way, Lucy and I did live in Kentucky when we were first married at Fort Knox for 3 years. So I think I'm qualified to do this. I've already got my crust ready to go, and it's good. These just get sliced and placed all around the bottom, and you'll see what goes on top. Absolutely delicious. And I think all I would serve with this is maybe lettuce wedge with some blue cheese ranch on it, something like that. Well, this is not part of my stay cool day. It's 3 p.m. and it is 99 degrees outside still. And I have the oven on, and I am just par baking the crust just for 10 minutes at 375, and I have to keep an eye on it. It should come out probably shortly in about 8 or 9 minutes. I've prepared everything because I don't want this to be too awfully long. And what I have done is I have laid out all the sliced tomatoes on a rack to let them drain. I've salted them and they are gooey. You don't want to keep them too wet because they'll make the pie crust soggy, and we don't want that. So the salt is draining the water out of the tomatoes. I just want to talk about something that I mentioned in the thumbnail. I said that this is a hairdo with the help of a bump. And with a bump, I mean these little things in the back. So when you see that hairdo, not the one I have today, but the one that I will be showing you in the video, is with these are called hair bumps. And I'll come around just to show you. These are falling off my nose, but it's okay. There are hair bumps galore on Amazon. All you have to do is go on and ask for the combs with the hair bumps attached. We used to call these rats, but I have in the one on the thumbnail, I had this in the back, and that's what I made the horizontal French roll with, which I meant I stuffed my French roll. That's what you have to do with aging, thinning hair. Now, all of these are helpful bumps, And that's what we're going to call them from here on in, as I do new hairdos. And here's one right now. It's a quickie. And this particular one I just did very quickly with my braid. I kind of teased the top of my hair and very quickly just went up all around in somewhat of a Gibson girl hairdo. And I tucked everything in. I didn't even put any bobby pins in. It's not perfect. Most of the hairdos that you'll see are going to be on the messy side, but that's so in anyway. So let me get back to this. Now, as soon as the pie comes out of the oven, which will be pre-baked, I will, and it probably has about 4 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. Everything's ready to go to load it. I have some green onions, chopped up green onions, some of the green and some of the white bulb. I have 2 cloves of chopped garlic ready to go in. And I've saved a few of the garnishes from the basil to put on top. You know, it was growing right next to my mint, and I'm having trouble distinguishing the mint smell from the basil. But this is all picked from the garden. And here I have diced a lot of basil, and this will go on top of the tomatoes before the mixture. Now the mixture is, I've used 3 kinds of cheeses. You can use any cheese you want. I love mozzarella, Muzi loves cheddar, and I've also thrown in some Mexican blend. So this should be quite tasty. And into this, I will put almost, and I play all this by ear, almost a cup of mayonnaise. I want the pie to be a little firmer. I just checked it, and I have docked it with the fork, made little fork things in there so it doesn't blow up. So I'll check it again, but it needed a little more cooking. That should come out any minute. So this should be enough for right now. So let's see how this goes. Mix it up really good with the cheese. When I saw some of these pictures online, I just couldn't wait to make this pie. Hopefully I'm gonna put more mayonnaise in because I want it to be able to spread, and it's not quite gooey enough. Still could go more, but I'm in a rush to get out of this kitchen, so I'm going to just go for it. Now I just turned the oven down to 350 because that's what I cooked my pie at, and the crust was cooking at 375. So let's get back to this. And I'm going to do it kind of a small pie crust and big tomatoes, but I'm doing a sort of a stacked type of a thing around in a circle, sort of a stairway, building a stairway here. I'm sure I have enough tomatoes. They say that the tomatoes do cook down, so they say don't worry about filling it up. Oh, I see Shamu walking in the house here. Just, hello. It's hot here, yes. Not quite as hot as outside though, huh? Well, I think we're looking good. Here you go. Doesn't that look good? I have a lot of nice basil here. I'm going to go up a little bit closer. Maybe you can see this. Push my cart closer. Ooh, this looks good. Now, I adore basil, so it's going to be a lot of basil here. Muzi, not so much. Well, you Southern ladies, how am I doing? Am I doing it the right way? Now some onions, a little bit of both here. Okay, looking good. Might as well go for it, right? Okay, and what should I do with the garlic cloves? If I've really diced them small, so maybe I'll just sort of sprinkle them around in the hopes that everybody will get a little bite. Actually, it's only Moose and I, unless I send some up and we have too much. There we go. And a little more salt. I really don't do too much salt in my cooking at all. Now I've saved these which I will save. And now it's time. I'm gonna put a little pepper on this before I put the mixture on. I love my pepper mill. I'm also a pepper freak. Nice black, fresh ground pepper. Oh, boy. Too much? Nah. Okay. Now, I put little dollops around here and there. Okay, now I'm going to take my nice spreader, spread it around. It is thick. Wonder if that'll make a difference. I think I'll take these off and you can see the glistening on my face from the oven going. Isn't that pretty? How'd I do, Southern ladies? I guess we'll see when we taste it. I almost hate to put it in the oven. It looks so pretty. So here we go, 350 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes, and I will keep checking it. Here we go. I just made, okay, this is Shannon, my dear little 17-year-old granddaughter, and she is helping me to get organized.
Yep.
Do you think that'll ever happen?
Possibly.
Too much stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right now, she's off to the closet. I just finished making a southern tomato pie. You ever heard of it?
No.
You might like it. I'll give you a piece if you want.
All right.
Okay,
Sounds
get
good.
busy, girl. I'm coming right after you.
Cool.
So glad Shannon's here. My little helper. Lovely. Nice. The crust looks good. It looks nice and crispy. I think it looks yummy. And I'll cut it open and you'll see the insides when we're ready to eat about an hour from now. So it'll cool just a little bit. Well, came out beautifully. It cut nicely. Can you see the tomatoes in there? And here's Moosey's plate, all ready to go. Gave him a nice big piece. It's warm, just warm, and I presume that's the way you eat it, right? Bon appetit. Get back out into the garden. And by the way, the Froggy project, which was all ready to go, has been put off until the heat goes away, which should be by the end of the week. And I did find my drill, by the way, and have the drill all ready to go. I'm going to show you how we're going to cut that big pot. And I've taken some screenshots of the type of a froggy garden that I want to do with the little stone steps and the different levels of broken pots within a big pot and the froggies sitting there. And I'm going to show you some of those pictures to give you an idea of what I'm basing my ideas from. That's going to be fun. So put the Froggy project off for a while. I understand that on the East Coast, the hurricane is just arriving in Florida now. So now it's the East Coast. This weather is crazy, and we're in weathers at 95 to 100 and higher, especially out toward Palm Springs and the deserts. Crazy. Yesterday, which was a very hot day, I did need help, and my granddaughter Shanny had agreed to come down. So she came down. I knew she didn't want to work too awfully long because she had been to a school dance, an opening welcome dance the night before. I could tell she was a little tired. So, and I it was too hot for me to work along with her. So I figured out what I needed the most, besides some vacuuming and sheets needing to be changed and some work in the kitchen. I figured my closet, which has always suffered and is never perfect, ever, ever. She had done this a couple months ago, totally reorganizing, hanging things up, whatever. What I need to do is purge, and I just have to, it has to be right. I have to do it. But she went in there and she organized everything from the shoes to the kimonos to the scarves. I do have a scarf rack, and she did a great job in a little over an hour. So we came to the conclusion, Moosey had a little talk with her, love Shannon, she's 17 now, and she is going to come down twice a week, and we are going to work on jobs around here. by the time I get everything done in the morning, the things that have to be reloaded into the refrigerators, not sodas so much, water, and I keep the water out in the car, bringing those in, and by the time I get the trash out and the breakfast made and all the other things you do in the morning, just regular routine, I'm exhausted by 11 o'clock, and all the extras just aren't getting done. In our last video, I talked about the fact that I was going to make a German cucumber salad. Well, I did last night, but I was so tired, I just didn't film it. But it was my first time doing this one, and it's just as well. I wanted to get all the little mistakes over with in my first time, so I'll be making it next week. It was delicious with sour cream and very thinly sliced cucumbers and onions and dill. I found some fresh dill in the market, which was why I decided to make it last night. And you chop that up and put it in. Oh, it was a meal in itself, although we did have it with buffalo wings. I cooked some buffalo wings last night. So I do have a couple more recipes for you. And you know how I love clothes. I've loved clothes and different outfits and hats and shoes and accessories, bags, jewelry. I love jewelry all my life from the time I was little. And it gets a little harder these days. Not that I don't love it just as much, but all those fancy clothes and all the hats and coats and stuff, do I have places to wear them anymore? Yes, once in a while. When it gets cold and rainy in the winter, I was able to drag out some of my coats and some of my big felt hats and things, my boots. But on a day-to-day life, the simple life, as you age, it gets a little more simple. And I wish I could purge. It's just not in me yet. At least I have a chance to wear them and show you some of the clothes. I'm not buying much anymore, so a lot of the outfits I might share with you, especially as we get into fall and we start transitioning. I have some great transitioning fall clothes right there in my closet in the other room. And I think I'll be sharing a lot of those. Very few new things, but that's okay, because maybe you'll forget from last year, or maybe you've never seen them before. So I will be doing some of those transitioning fashion videos as well, but not at 100 degrees at the end of August and beginning of September. In California, honestly, our fall doesn't come until maybe mid-October. It lasts for a while. And I love my sweaters and my sweater coats and boots and different things that I love. I love the colors of fall. And I will be decorating my mantle for fall too, but not yet. So I think the way to go for a while is finding outfits that are definitely comfortable these days as we are pro-aging, but still fashionable. Somehow we'll be able to do it, ladies. I still wear fun accessories, right? Do your nails, have fun, and take care of all those other problems that come up as we age too. You know what I'm talking about. You're clamoring more for some more hairdos, so I'll keep working on some to try and show you. Now, I'm not an expert, and I don't expect mine to turn out absolutely perfect like a lot of these youngins do, because I don't have the hair to begin with. My hair is thinning. I do help it along with the dry shampoo, and my 87-year-old arms might not stay up as long as some of those other gals would. Well, I want to officially welcome all the newcomers that I haven't welcomed yet. You keep coming and coming, and I am so appreciative. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for enjoying our channel and sticking around with us. And of course, I am not forgetting those of you who have been with us since we started. I love you all. So does Moosey. And by the way, in the next video, he wants to do a joke or a recitation of maybe the ending of Gunga Din or something. But he says he has something to say. So I think we'll have Moosey do a cameo. He's afraid he's going to get hammered by all of you for worrying about what I was going to say during the constipation video. But I think we did okay in it, didn't we? So thank you once again. We'll be seeing you soon again in another video. Don't know what yet, but I'm so glad you're all here with us. Bye for now, and God bless us all.